Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So continuing with Mahabharata Yana Sandhi Parva, chapter 726, part 63. Dhritarashtra said, O Duryodhana, O son, think about what I am telling you. Like one who does not know the route, you think that the wrong path is the right one. You wish to envelop the energy of the five great-souled Pandu, sons of Pandu, but it is as great as the five elements. O Kaunteya Yudhishthira is established in supreme dharma. Without attaining the supreme objective, you cannot know him. Kaunteya Bhimasena has no one equal to him in strength. He is a killer in battle, but you are challenging him like a tree against a great storm. Which intelligent one wishes to fight against the warrior who is the wielder of the Gandiva? He is supreme among those who know all the weapons, like Meru is among mountains. Whom can Panchala Drishtadyumna not vanquish? He releases arrows in the midst of the enemy, like the king of the gods with the Vajra. Satyaki is also invincible and is revered by the Andakas and Vrishnis. He is always engaged in the welfare of the Pandavas and will destroy our soldiers. Then again, which intelligent person will fight with Krishna Pundarikaksha, who is superior to the three worlds? His wives, relatives, king, his own self, and the earth are on one side, and Dhananjaya alone on the other. The invincible Vasudeva, in control of his soul, is where the Pandava is. His forces, impossible for the earth to withstand, are where Keshava is. O son, abide by the words of your virtuous well-wishers. Your virtuous well-wishers have spoken for your welfare. Listen to the aged grandfather Bhishma, Santanu's son. Listen to what I have said for the welfare of the Kurus. Drona, Kripa, Vikarna, and the great king Bahlika think the same way that I do. You should listen to them. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, all of them are learned in Dharma and are equally affectionate towards you. Your forces, together with those of your brothers, were scattered in Virata's city. Before your eyes, they had to relinquish the cattle in a great fight. We have heard the extraordinary account told about that city, where one was enough for many. That is sufficient proof. This is what Arjuna alone accomplished. What will all of them do together? Know them to be your brothers and give them a means of sustenance. Chapter 727, part 64. Vaishampayam said, the immensely wise Dhritarashtra spoke to Suryodhana in this way. He again asked the immensely fortunate Sanjaya. O Sanjaya, tell me what else Arjuna said after Vasudeva had spoken. I am extremely curious. Sanjaya replied, after hearing Vasudeva's words, in Vasudeva's hearing, the invincible Dhananjaya, Kunti's son, spoke these words at that time. O Sanjaya, go to the grandfather who is Shantanu's son, Dhritarashtra, Drona, Karna, and the great king Ballika, Drona's son, Somadatta, Sakuni, Saubala, Dushashana, Shala, Purumitra, Vivingshati, Vikarna, Chitrasena, the king Jayatsena, Vinda, Anuvinda, the two from Avanti, the Kaurava Durmukha, the invincible Saindava, Burishrava, King Bhagadatta, King Jarasandha, and all other kings who have assembled to fight Jalasandha. Sorry, that's Jalasandha, different from Jarasandha. For the cause of the Kauravas. O Sutta, having gathered for the sake of Dhritarashtra's son, they are destined to die in the blazing fire of the Pandavas. As is proper, honor them and ask them about their welfare. When they have assembled, tell them my words. O Sanjaya, tell this in the midst of that assembly of kings to Suyodhana, foremost among the wicked ones. The prince is intolerant and evil-minded. Dhritarashtra's son is avaricious and wicked in his soul. O Sanjaya, tell him my complete words while he listens with his advisors. Having thus started, the wise Partha Dhananjaya, with long and red eyes, looked towards Vasudeva and told me these words that were full of dharma and artha. You have listened attentively to the words spoken by the great-souled chief of the Madhus. These words are mine too, and convey them all to the assembled kings. Let all the assembled ones endeavor so that there isn't a great sacrifice of battle, with arrows as the smoke of fire, chariots as chants, and the ladle of the bow pouring oblations on your soldiers. Since you did not return to Yudhishthira, the destroyer of enemies, what he desires as his share, I will use my sharp arrows to send you with your horses, infantry, and elephants to the pure region of the ancestors. Then I quickly took my leave of Dhananjaya and the four-armed Hari. I returned with the radiance of the immortals to report those great words to you. Chapter 728, part 65. Vaishampayana said, when Dhritarashtra's son, Duryodhana, refused to accept those words, all those lords among men stood up and were silent. O great king, after all the kings of the earth had arisen, the king questioned Sanjaya in private. He was under the control of his sons and wished for their victory. He tried to arrive at a conclusion about himself, the others, and the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra said, O son of Gavalgana, tell me about the strength and the weakness of our own army. You know everything about the Pandavas. How are they superior? In which way are they inferior? You know everything about the strengths of both sides. You are skilled about the decisions that bring dharma and artha. O Sanjaya, I am asking you, tell me everything. Which of the two sides will cease to exist in the battle? Sanjaya replied, I will tell you, as long as it is not a secret, as long as it is not in secret, O king. Otherwise you will hold that against me. O Ajamida, bring your father, who is great in his vows, and Queen Gandhari. O Indra among men, they are knowledgeable about Dharma and skilled in their determination. They will dispel any hatred you might feel. It is only in their presence that I will tell you everything about Vasudeva and Arjuna's thoughts. Having got to know about the intentions of Sanjaya and his son, the immensely wise Krishna Dvaipayana arrived there and said, as Vyasa, O Sanjaya, tell Dhritarashtra what he has asked. Answer his question completely. In this connection, tell him everything exactly as you know it about Vasudeva and Arjuna. 729, part 66. Sanjaya said, Arjuna and are supremely honored archers. They have everything in them that have been born in this way because of their own wishes. O Lord, the intelligent Vasudeva's chakra is hidden in the firmament and works through the powers of Maya. It may be hidden from the Pandavas, but the Pandavas honor it. I am briefly telling you about their strengths and weaknesses. Listen. As if in play, the immensely strong Janardana Madhava defeated Naraka, Shambara, Kamsa, and the king of Chedi, who was terrible in form. Purushottama pervades the earth, the sky, and the heaven. He is supreme in his soul, and everything is under his control. O king, you have repeatedly asked me about the Pandavas, wishing to know about the strengths and weaknesses of their forces. If you place the entire universe on one side and Janardana on the other, Janardana will exceed the essence of the entire universe. Through his mind, Janardana can reduce the entire universe to ashes. But nothing in the universe can reduce Janardana to ashes. Wherever there is truth, wherever there is dharma, wherever there is modesty, wherever there is uprightness, Govinda is present there. Wherever there is Krishna, victory exists there. As if in play, Purushottama Janardana, the soul of all beings, guides the earth, the sky, and heaven. Using the Pandavas as his instruments and keeping the world in delusion, he wishes to burn down your stupid sons who are devoted to adharma. Through his own yoga, the illustrious Keshava makes the wheel of time, the wheel of the universe, and the wheel of the yugas ceaselessly go round and round. I tell you truthfully that the illustrious Lord alone governs time and death, the mobile and the immobile. Hari, the great yogi, is the Lord of everything in the universe. But he yet undertakes tasks like an ordinary tiller of the soil. Thus, Keshava deceives the world with the maya of his yoga. But men who seek refuge with him are not deluded. Someone else want to take over from me? You there, Matura?
I'm here, but I would prefer if somebody else. I don't mind going next. I'm kind of used to Kanai taking over at this stage, but if Guna, do you want to read now, or Dina?
I can be Kanai, yeah.
Yeah, I can
Well,
be Can. Yeah.
so do you know where you are?
Dhritarashtra said,
Okay. Just a second.
I'm on page 150.
Okay. So, very good. So, remember to tell us when it's a new chapter. And when you get to LXX11, it's called Bhagavat Yana Parva. So when you get to that
Yeah.
bit, get Mathura to read the introduction, the summary of this Bhagavat Yana Parva when you get to it. But then you can either carry on or let him take over as you please.
Okay. Let's see.
That will be on page 153. And it's got it in parentheses under the section LXXII. It's in parentheses underneath. It says Bhagavat Yana Parva. So we need to switch over to our edition to give a
Need
brief summary of that.
I need you to put my video on because it's disabled.
Yeah, Matura has to do that.
Mhm.
I'm going to disappear. Antaritan.
I'm going to do it, sorry.
Oh,
Thank-
look. My picture came up. That's why I was signing in.
Oh,
That's good, isn't it?
yeah, I love that.
What is it?
Okay.
Now try Guna. Try Guna now.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Is that okay for you, Matura?
it's okay. But I tell you what, though, there's a light shining in the glass of the Radha Krishna that's not necessary. It's annoying.
Oh, that's the main light.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Is that better now?
Much better. Much. How did you had it perfect the other day? You were, yeah, you had the light. Yeah, that's a good spot, but you had the light coming from the other side. You had a good light coming from the other side, like an orange light coming on your side of your face last time. Not in
That
the
was
picture.
a candle.
Oh, that was a
that was a
candle.
candle that I don't have now.
That
Do you want me to light that candle, Matura?
Well, it does make a difference, darling.
one.
Okay.
What was
It
that?
does. You can't believe it. That's why they give you a choice when you're doing
Matura,
photo.
why don't you pause the video until she's ready?
Well, she's ready.
Ready.
Okay.
Ready. Okay. Haribol.
Dhritarashtra said, "How hast thou, O Sanjaya, been able to know Madhava as the supreme lord of the universe? And how is it that I am unable to know him as such? Tell me this, O Sanjaya."
Stop 1 minute.
Mm.
Put the top of the camera down to where the ceiling is. The edge of the top. Yeah. Put that. No. You have almost no. That's it. No. 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 You haven't got it. You got to get. That's it. Radha Krishna. Yes. That's it. Yes. It's better. Yeah. That's it. That's perfect. Leave it.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you. Sorry.
We'll
Hare Krishna.
have to edit a chunk out there.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's beautiful now.
Much editing.
I can't edit from the middle. That's the thing. The best thing is to pause whenever we're going to take some time like that. I can only edit clip off the end,
Asha, beginning and endings.
not even the beginning,
Ah,
just the end. So whenever we're going to have a long disruption, we might as well pause it.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll let you carry on.
we start again.
Okay. Dhritarashtra said, "How hast thou, O Sanjaya, been able to know Madhava as the supreme lord of the universe? And how is it that I am unable to know him as such? Tell me this, O Sanjaya." Sanjaya said, "Listen, O king, thou hast no knowledge, whereas my knowledge hath suffered no diminution. He that is without knowledge and is shrouded with the darkness of ignorance knoweth not Keshava. Aided by my knowledge, O sire, I know the slayer of Madhu to be the union of the gross, the subtle, and the cause, and that he is the creator of all, but is himself increate, and also that, endued with divinity, it is he from whom everything springs, and it is he unto whom all things return." Dhritarashtra said, "O son of Galvagana, what is the nature of that faith which thou hast in Janardhan, and in consequence of which thou knowest the slayer of Madhu to be the union of the gross, the subtle, and the cause?" Sanjaya said, "Blessed be thou, O king. I have no regard for the illusion that is identified with worldly pleasures, and I never practice the useless virtues of vows and work without reliance on him and purity of soul. Having obtained purity of soul through faith, I have known Janardhan from the scriptures. Dhritarashtra said, O Duryodhana, seek thou the protection of Janardhan, otherwise called Rishikesh. O child, Sanjaya is one of our true trustiest friends. Seek refuge with Keshava. Duryodhana said, if the divine son of Devaki, united in friendship with Arjuna, were to slay all mankind, I cannot, even then, resign myself to Keshava. Dhritarashtra said, this evil-minded son of thine, O Gandhari, is resolved to sink in misery, envious, wicked-souled, and vain. He setteth aside the words of all his superiors. Gandhari said, thou covetous wretch that disregardest the commands of the aged, abandoning thy father and myself, and giving up prosperity and life, enhancing the joy of thy foes, and afflicting me with deep distress. Thou wilt, O fool, remember thy father's words. When struck by Bhimasena, thou wilt bite the dust. Vyasa said, listen to me, O king. Thou, O Dhritarashtra, art the beloved of Krishna. When Sanjaya hath been thy envoy, he will verily lead thee to thy good. He knoweth Rishikesh, that ancient and exalted one. If thou listenest to him with attention, he will certainly save thee from the great danger that hangs upon thee. O son of Vichitravirya, subject to wrath and joy, men are entangled in various snares. They that are not contented with their own possessions, deprived of sense as they are by avarice and desire, they repeatedly become subject to death in consequence of their own acts, like blind men falling into pits when led by the blind. The path that is trod by the wise is the only one that leadeth to Brahma. They that are superior, keeping that path of view, overcome death and reach the goal by it. Dhritarashtra said, tell me, O Sanjaya, of that path without terrors, by which, obtaining Rishikesh, salvation may be mine. Sanjaya said, a man of uncontrolled mind can by no means know Janardana, whose soul is under perfect command. The performance of sacrifices, without controlling one's senses, is even no means to that end. Renunciation of the objects of our excited senses is due to spiritual light. Both spiritual light and abstention from injury arise doubtless from true wisdom. Therefore, O king, resolve to subdue thy senses with all possible vigour. Let not thy intellect deviate from true knowledge, and restrain thy heart from worldly temptations that surround it. Learned Brahmanas describe this subjugation of the senses to be true wisdom, and this wisdom is the path by which learned men proceed to their goal. O king, Keshava is not obtainable by men who have not subdued their senses. He that hath subdued his senses desireth spiritual knowledge, awakened by the knowledge of scriptures and the pleasure of yoga absorption. Section 70. Dhritarashtra said, I request thee, O Sanjaya, to tell me again of the lotus-eyed Krishna. For, by being acquainted with the import of his names, I may, O son, obtain that most exalted of male beings. Sanjaya said, the auspicious names of Keshava have been previously heard by me. Of those I will tell thee as many as I know. Keshava, however, is immeasurable, being above the power of speech to describe. He is called Vasudev, in consequence of his enveloping all creatures with the screen of illusion, or of his glorious splendour, or of his being the support and resting place of the gods. He is called Vishnu because of his all-pervading nature. He is called Madhava, O Bharata, because of absorption. He is called Madhusudan because of his having slain the Asura Madhu, and also because of his being the substance of the 24 objects of knowledge. Born of the Satvata race, he is called words Krishi, which signifieth what existeth, and Na, which signifieth eternal peace. He is called Pundarikaksha, from Pundarik, implying his high and eternal abode, and Aksha, implying indestructible. And he is called Janardhan, because he striketh fear into the hearts of all wicked beings. He is called Satvata, because the attribute of Sattva is never dissociated from him, and also because he is never dissociated from it. And he is called Vrishabhakshana, from Vrishaba, implying the Vedas, and Ikshana, implying eye, the union of the two, signifying that the Vedas are his eyes, or the Vedas are the eyes through which he may be seen. That conqueror of hosts is called Aja, or unborn, because he hath not taken his birth from any being in the ordinary way. That supreme soul is called Damodar, because unlike the gods, his effulgence is increate and his own, and also because he hath self-control and great splendour. He is called Rishikesh, from Rishika, meaning eternal happiness, and Isha, meaning the 6 divine attributes, the union signifying one having joy, happiness, and divinity. He is called Mahavahu because he upholdeth the earth and the sky with his 2 arms. He is called Adakshaja because he never falleth down or suffereth any deterioration, and is called Narayan from his being the refuge of all human beings. He is called Purushottam from Puru, implying he that createth and preserveth, and so meaning he that destroyeth, the union signifying one that createth, preserveth, and destroyeth the universe. He possesseth the knowledge of all things, and therefore is called Sava. Krishna is always in truth, and truth is always in him. And Govinda is truth's truth. Therefore he is called Satya. He is called Vishnu because of his prowess, and Jishnu because of his success. He is called Ananta from his eternity, and Govinda from his knowledge of speech of every kind. He maketh the unreal appear as real, and thereby beguileth all creatures, possessed of such attributes, ever devoted to righteousness, and endued with divinity, the slayer of Madhu, that mighty armed one, incapable of decay, will come hither for preventing the slaughter of the Kurus. Section 71. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, I envy those gifted with sight who will behold it before them that Vasudeva, whose body endued with great beauty shineth with effulgence, illuminating the cardinal and subsidiary points of the compass, who will give utterance to words that will be listened to with respect by the Bharatas, words that are auspicious to the Srinjayas, acceptable by those desirous of prosperity, faultless in every respect, and unacceptable by those that are doomed to death, who is full of high resolves, eternal, possessed of unrivalled heroism, who is the bull of the Yadavas and their leader, and who is the slayer and awe-inspirer of all foes, and who is the destroyer of the fame of every enemy. The assembled Kauravas will behold that high-souled and adorable one, that slayer of foes, that chief of the Vrishnis, uttering words full of kindness and fascinating all of my party. I put myself in the hand of that eternal one, that Rishi endued with knowledge of self, that ocean of eloquence, that being who is easily attainable by ascetics, that bird called Arishta, furnished with beautiful wings, that destroyer of creatures, that refuge of the universe, that one of 1,000 heads, that creator and destroyer of all things, that ancient one, that one without beginning, middle, or end, that one of infinite achievements, that cause of the prime seed, that unborn one, that eternity's self, that highest of the high, that creator of the three worlds, that author of gods, asuras, nagas, and rakshasas, that foremost of all learned persons and rulers of men, that younger brother of Indra.
Jai Sri Hari. So
Read.
before you go on, let me just tell you what's this Bhagavat Yana Parva, the next bit. All right, so this section has 2,055 shlokas and 68 chapters. Yana means moving or journey as a verb, and conveyance as a noun. The Parva is so named because Krishna Bhagavan goes as a messenger to the Kurus. There are stories of Dambodh Matali's search for a son-in-law, Gulliver's obstinacy, Yayati and Vidula and her son. However, Krishna fails and war is inevitable. You can proceed.
Thank you. Janamejaya said, when good Sanjaya, leaving the Pandava camp, went back to the Kurus, what did my grandsires, the sons of Pandu, then do? O foremost of Brahmanas, I desire to hear all this. Tell me this, therefore. Vaishampayana said, after Sanjaya had gone, Yudhishthir, the just, addressed Krishna of the Dasara race, that chief of all the Sattvatas, saying, O thou that art devoted to friends, the time hath come for friends to show their friendship. I do not see any other persons besides thee that can save us in this season of distress. Relying on thee, O Madhava, we have fearlessly asked back our share from Duryodhana, who is filled with immeasurable pride, and from his counsellors. O chastiser of foes, thou protectest the Vrishnis in all their calamities. Do thou now protect the Pandavas also from a great danger, for they deserve thy protection. Divine Krishna said, Here am I, O mighty armed one. Tell me what thou desirest to say, for I will, O Bharata, accomplish whatever thou wilt tell me. Yudhishthir said, Thou hast heard what the intention is of Dhritarashtra and his own. All that Sanjaya, O Krishna, said unto me hath certainly the assent of Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya is Dhritarashtra's soul, and spoke out his mind. An envoy speaketh according to his instructions, for if he speaketh otherwise, he deserveth to be slain. Without looking equally on all that are his, moved by avarice and a sinful heart, Dhritarashtra seeketh to make peace with us without giving us back our kingdom. Indeed, at Dhritarashtra's command, we spent 12 years in the woods and 1 additional year in concealment, well believing, O Lord, that Dhritarashtra would abide firmly by that pledge of ours. That we did not deviate from our promise is well known to the Brahmanas who were with us. The covetous king of Dhritarashtra is now unwilling to observe Kshatriya virtues. Owing to affection for his son, he is listening to the counsels of wicked men. Abiding by counsels of Suyodhana, the king, O Janardana, actuated by avarice and seeking his own good, behaveth untruthfully towards us. What can be more sorrowful, O Janardana, than this, that I am unable to maintain my mother and my friends? Having the Kazis, the Panchalas, and the Chedis, and the Matsyas for my allies, and with thee, O slayer of Madhu, for my protector, I prayed for only 5 villages, Avishtala, Vrikashtala, Makandi, Varanavata, and with any other, O Govinda, as the 5th. Grant us, we said, 5 villages or towns. O sire, where we 5 may dwell in union, for we do not desire the destruction of the Bharatas. The wicked-minded son of Dhritarashtra, however, regarding the lordship of the world to be in him, doth not agree to even that. What can be more sorrowful than this? When a man born and brought up in a respectable family coveteth the possessions of others, that avarice of his destroyeth his intelligence, and intelligence being destroyed, shame is lost, and loss of shame leadeth to diminution of virtue, and loss of virtue bringeth on loss of prosperity. Destruction of prosperity in its turn ruineth a person, for poverty is a person's death. Kinsmen and friends and brahmanas shun a poor man, as birds avoid, O Krishna, a tree that beareth neither flower nor fruits. Even this, O sire, is death to me, that kinsmen shun me, as if I were a fallen one, like the breath of life quitting a dead body. Samvara said that no condition of life could be more distressful than that in which one is always racked by the anxiety caused by the thought, I have no meal for today. What will become of me tomorrow? It is said that wealth is the highest virtue, and everything depends on wealth. They that have wealth are said to live, whereas those that are without wealth are more dead than alive. They that by violence rob a man of his wealth not only kill the robbed, but destroy also his virtue, profit, and pleasure. Some men, when overtaken by poverty, choose death, Others remove from cities to hamlets. Others retire into the wood, while others, again, become religious mendicants to destroy their lives. Some, for the sake of wealth, are driven to madness. Others, for wealth, live under subjection to their foes, while many others, again, for the sake of wealth, betake themselves to the servitude of others. A man's poverty is even more distressful to him than death, for wealth is the sole cause of virtue and pleasure. The natural death of a person is not much regarded, for that is the eternal path of all creatures. Indeed, none among created beings can transgress it. O Krishna, a man who is poor from birth is not so much distressed as one who, having once possessed great prosperity and having been brought up in luxury, is deprived of that prosperity. Having through his own fault fallen into distress, such a person blameth the very gods with Indra and his own self. Indeed, knowledge of even the entire scriptures faileth to mitigate his pains. Sometimes he getteth angry with his servants, and sometimes he cherisheth malice towards even his well-wishers. Subject to constant anger, he loseth his very senses, and his senses being clouded, he practiseth evil deeds. Through sinfulness, such a person contributeth to a fusion of castes. A fusion of castes leadeth to hell, and it is the foremost of all sinful acts. If he is not awakened in time, he goeth certainly, O Krishna, to hell. And indeed, wisdom is the only thing that can awaken him, for if he obtaineth back the eye of wisdom, he is saved. When wisdom is regained, such a man turneth his attention to scriptures, and attention to scriptures aideth his virtue. Then shame becometh his best ornament. He that hath shame hath an aversion against sin, and his prosperity also increaseth. And he that hath prosperity truly becometh a man. He that is ever devoted to virtue, and hath his mind under control, and always acteth after deliberation, never inclineth towards uprighteousness, and never engageth in any act that is sinful. He that is without shame and sense is neither man nor woman. He is incapable of earning religious merit, and is like a Sudra. He that hath shame gratifieth the gods, the Pitris, and even his own self, and by this he obtaineth emancipation, which indeed is the highest arm of all righteous persons. Thou hast, O slayer of Madhu, seen all this in me with thy own eyes. It is not unknown to thee how, deprived of kingdom, we have lived these years. We cannot lawfully abandon that prosperity which had been ours. Our first efforts will be such that, O Madhava, both ourselves and the Kauravas, united in peace, will quietly enjoy our prosperity. Otherwise, we shall, after slaying the worst of the Kauravas, regain those provinces, although success through bloodshed, by destruction of even despicable foes that are related to us, so dearly is the worst of all fierce deeds. O Krishna, we have numerous kinsmen, and numerous also are the revered seniors that have taken this or that other side. The slaughter of these would be highly sinful. What good, therefore, can there be in battle? Alas, such sinful practices are the duties of the Kshatriya order. Ourselves have taken our births in that wretched order. whether those practices be sinful or virtuous. Any other than the profession of arms would be censurable for us. A Sudra serveth, a Vaishya liveth by trade. The Brahmana have chosen the wooden bowl for begging, while we are to live by slaughter. A Kshatriya slayeth a Kshatriya. Fishes live on fish. A dog preyeth upon a dog. Behold, O thou of the Dasara race, how each of these followeth his peculiar virtue. O Krishna, Kali is ever present in battlefields. Lives are lost all around. It is true. Force regulated by policy is invoked, yet success and defeat are independent of the will of the combatants. The lives also of creatures are independent of their own wishes, and neither weal nor woe can be one's when the time is not come for it. O best of the Yadu's race, sometimes one man killeth many, sometimes many and united together kill one. A coward may slay a hero, and one unknown to fame may slay a hero of celebrity. Both parties cannot win success, nor both be defeated. The loss, however, on both sides may be equal. If one flieth away, loss of both life and fame is his. Under all circumstances, however, war is a sin. Who in striking another is not himself struck? As regard the person, however, who is struck, victory and defeat, O Rishikesh, are the same. It is true that defeat is not much removed from death, but his loss also, O Krishna, is not less who winneth victory. He himself may not be killed, but his adversaries will kill at least someone that is dear to him, or some others, and thus the man, O sire, deprived of strength, and not seeing before him his sons and brothers, becometh indifferent. O Krishna, to life itself. Those that are quiet, modest, virtuous, and compassionate are generally slain in battle, while they that are wicked escape. Even after slaying one's foes, repentance, O Janardana, possesseth the heart. He that surviveth among the foes giveth trouble, for the survivor, collecting a force, seeketh to destroy the surviving victor. In hopes of terminating the dispute, one often seeketh to exterminate the foe. Thus victory createth animosity, and he that is defeated liveth in sorrow. He that is peaceful sleepeth in happiness, giving up all thoughts of victory and defeat. Whereas he that hath provoked hostility always sleepeth in misery, with, indeed, an anxious heart, as if sleeping with a snake in the same room. He that exterminates seldom winneth fame. On the other hand, such a person reapeth eternal infamy in the estimation of all. Hostilities waged over so long cease not, for if there is even one alive in the enemy's family, narrators are never wanted to remind him of the past. Enmity, O Keshava, is never neutralized by enmity. On the other hand, it is fomented by enmity, like fire fed by clarified butter. Therefore, there can be no peace without the annihilation of one party, for flaws may always be detected, of which advantage may be taken by one side or other. They that are engaged in watching for flaws have this vice. Confidence in one's own prowess troubleth the core of one's heart like an incurable disease. Without either renouncing that at once or death, there can be no peace. It is true, O slayer of Madhu, that exterminating the foe by the very roots may lead to good result in the shape of great prosperity, yet such an act is most cruel. The peace that may be brought about by our renouncing the kingdom is hardly different from death, which is implied by the loss of kingdom, in consequence of the designs of the enemy and the utter ruin of ourselves. We do not wish to give up the kingdom, nor do we wish to see the extinction of our race. Under these circumstances, therefore, the peace that is obtained through even humiliation is the best. When these that strive for peace, by all means, without of course wishing for war, find conciliation fail, war becomes inevitable, and then is the time for the display of prowess. Indeed, when conciliation fails, frightful results follow. The learned have noticed all this in a canine contest. First, there comes the wagging of tails, then the bark in reply, then the circumambulation, then the showing of teeth, then repeated roars, and then at last the fight. In such a contest, O Krishna, the dog that is stronger, vanquishing his antagonist, taketh the latter's meat. The same is exactly the case with men. There is no difference whatever. They that are powerful should be indifferent to avoid disputes with the weak, who always bow down. The father, the king, and he that is venerable in year always deserve regard. Dhritarashtra, therefore, O Janardana, is worthy of our respect and worship. But, O Madhava, Dhritarashtra's affection for his son is great. Obedient to his son, he will reject our submission. What dost thou, O Krishna, think best at this juncture? How may we, O Madhava, preserve both our interest and virtue? Whom also, besides thee, O slayer of Madhu and foremost of men, shall we consult in this difficult affair? What other friend have we, O Krishna, who like thee is so dear to us, who seeketh our welfare so, who is so conversant with the course of all actions, and who is so well acquainted with the truth? Vaishampayana continued, thus addressed, Janardana replied unto Yudhishthir the just, saying, I will go to the court of the Kurus for the sake of both of you. If without sacrificing your interests I can obtain peace, O king, an act of great religious merit will be mine, productive of great fruits. I shall then also save from the meshes of death the Kurus and the Srinjayas, inflamed with wrath, the Pandavas and the Dhritarashtras, and in fact this entire earth. Yudhishthir said, It is not my wish, O Krishna, that thou wilt go to the Kurus, for Suddhodana will not act according to thy words, even if thou advisest him well. All the Kshatriyas of the world, obedient to Duryodhana's command, are assembled there. I do not like that thou, O Krishna, shouldst proceed into their midst. If any mischief be done to thee, O Madhava, let alone happiness, nothing, not even divinity, not even the sovereignty over all the gods will delight us. The Holy One said, I know, O monarch, the sinfulness of Dhritarashtra's son, but by going there we will escape the blame of all the kings of the earth. Like other animals before the lion, all the kings of the earth united together are not competent to stand still before me in battle when I am enraged. If, after all, they do me any injury, then I will consume all the Kurus. Even this is my intention. My going thither, O Pata, will not be fruitless, for if our object be not fulfilled, we shall at least escape all blame. Yudhishthira said, Do, O Krishna, as it pleaseth thee. Blessed be thou. Go then to the Kurus. I hope to behold thee return successful and prosperous. Going into the Kurus, make thou, O Lord, such a peace that all the sons of Bharat may live together with cheerful hearts and contentedly. Thou art our brother and friend, dear to me as much as to Vibatsu. Such hath been our intimacy with thee, that we apprehend no neglect of our interest from thee. Go thou there for our good. Thou knowest us, thou knowest our antagonists, thou knowest what our purposes are, and thou knowest also what to say. Thou wilt, O Krishna, say unto Suyoddhana such words as are for our benefit. Whether peace is to be established by apparent sin or by any other means, O Keshava, speak such words as may prove beneficial to us.
Oh, riveting, absolutely riveting.
Fabulous. I'm going to carry on. Beautiful.
You know where you are, Mentor?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I am actually. It was exactly, it's so similar what's in that book than in this book.
Yeah.
Where's on my video? Sorry. Okay. So, carrying on. Page 360, 734, 71. Bhagavan said, I have listened to Sanjaya's words and I have also heard your words. I know everything about their intentions and I also know what you have in mind. Your intelligence is based on dharma. Their minds are turned towards enmity. Enmity. You will cherish everything that can be gained without resorting to a war. O Lord of the earth, but following rituals is not the task of a Kshatriya. In all the stages of life, it has been said that a Kshatriya should not resort to begging for a livelihood. Victory or death on the field of battle has been eternally ordained by the Creator. This is the natural dharma of Kshatriyas, and weakness in that is not praised. O Yudhisthira, it is not possible to have a livelihood by resorting to weakness. O mighty armed one, display your valour. O scorcher of enemies, conqueror the foes. O scorcher of enemies, the sons of Dhritarashtra are extremely avaricious. They have attained affection, they have obtained friends, and they have obtained strength by living with them for a long time. O Lord of the earth, therefore, peace with the Kurus is not desirable. Because of Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, and the others, they think themselves to be stronger, O king, as long as you act mildly towards them. They will take your kingdom away. O destroyer of enemies, Dhritarashtra's son will not do what you wish because of kindness, because of compassion, or because of dharma and artha. O destroyer of enemies, O Pandava, this alone is proof that they let you in a loincloth and did not repent their evil deed. In the sight of the grandfather, Drona, the intelligent Vidura, and the foremost among the Kurus, who knew exactly what had happened, that wicked one did not repent his cruel deeds. Excuse me. God, sorry. Yeah, I've forgotten where I was. They deserve to be killed. When one's conduct is of this nature, do not resort to affection. They deserve to be killed by all the worlds. O descendant of the Mahabharata lineage, why not by you? Insolent and delighted, he eloquently maligned you and your brothers, and told his brothers. The Pandavas have nothing that they can call their own now. Their names and their lineage will not survive either. After a long period of time has passed, they will confront defeat. Their subjects will no longer honour them. Their natural subjects have also been destroyed. He uttered such harsh words, and many others. He boasted among his relatives when you were banished to the forest. Those who were assembled there saw that you were without blame. They were seated in the assembly hall, their throats choked with tears, and they wept. The kings and the Brahmanas did not praise him then. All the courtiers censured Duryodhana, O destroyer of enemies. For someone born in a noble lineage, there can be censure and there can be death. O king, but death is several times superior to a reviled and wicked life. O king, he has been dead since the instant he was censured for his shamelessness before all the kings of the earth. O great king, one whose conduct is of this nature can be killed effortlessly, like a tree whose roots have been severed or so, that is precariously balanced on its trunk. The evil-minded one is ignoble to the world, and should be killed like a snake. O destroyer of enemies, O king, therefore kill him and do not hesitate. O unblemished one, but it pleases me, and it is also worthy of you that you should bow in obeisance and show your respects to your father and Bhishma. O king, I myself will go and resolve the doubts of all those who are in two minds about Duryodhana. In the midst of the kings, I will expound your manly qualities and the transgressions of these. On hearing my words in conformity with Dharma and Artha, the lords of the earth and the kings from the various countries will recognize you to possess Dharma in your soul and one who speaks the truth. They will know that he acts out of avarice. When the four Varnas are assembled, among the old and the young, among inhabitants of the town and the country, I will censure him. When you are striving for peace, no adharma will be attached to you. The kings will blame the Kurus and Dhritarashtra. When he is forsaken by all the worlds, what will be left to be done? Okay. With Duryodhana slain, there remains nothing else to be done. With this intention, I will go to the Kurus. I will not I will not relinquish your objective. I will strive for peace and notice their intentions. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, having observed the conduct and preparations of the Kauravas for war, I will leave and return to ensure your victory. In every way, I expect a war with the enemies. Seems to me that all the portents indicate that. The beasts and the birds are making terrible sounds. When it is night, the foremost of elephants and horses are assuming terrible forms. Signifying evil, the fire is assuming many colourful and terrible forms. Had death not arrived to destroy this world of men, this would not have been the case. Ready the weapons, arrows, armour, chariots, elephants, and standards. Let all the warriors be trained. Let them ready the horses, elephants, and chariots. O Indra among men, let everything be ready for battle. Let everything be kept ready, O king, O foremost among the Pandavas. As long as he lives, Duryodhana is incapable of returning the prosperous kingdom that was once yours, and which he robbed in the gambling with the dice. Bhima, do you Bhima, do you want to read?
Yes, I can take the
Yeah,
hold the baton.
thank you. I was a bit dark there, wasn't I? Just looked at it.
So the next section is
Bhimasena said,
75 here. 75 here in the
okay, you
Ganguli.
ready? Yeah, okay.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Continuing with Mahabharata. Bhima said, "Speak thou, O slayer of Madhu, in such a strain that there may be peace with the Kurus. Do not threaten them with war." Resenting everything, his wrath always excited, hostile to his own good and arrogant, Duryodhana should not be roughly addressed. Do thou behave towards him with mildness. Duryodhana is by nature sinful of heart, like that of a robber, intoxicated with pride of prosperity, hostile to the Pandavas, without foresight, cruel in speech, always disposed to censure others, of wicked prowess, of wrath, not easily to be appeased, not susceptible of being taught, of wicked soul, deceitful in behavior, capable of giving up his very life rather than break up or give his own opinion. Peace with such a one, O Krishna, is, I suppose, most difficult. Regardless of the words of even his well-wishers, destitute of virtue, loving falsehood, he always acts against the words of his counselors and wounds their hearts. Like a serpent hid within reeds, he naturally commits sinful acts, depending on his own wicked disposition and obedient to the impulse of wrath. What army Duryodhana hath, what his conduct is, what his nature, what his might, and what his prowess are all well known to thee. Before this, the Kauravas with their son passed their days in cheerfulness, and we also with our friends rejoiced like the younger brother of Indra, with Indra himself. Alas, by Duryodhana's wrath, O slayer of Madhu, the Bharats will all be consumed, even like forest by fire at the end of the dewy seasons. And, O slayer of Madhu, well known are those 18 of Asuras. Sorry, Mr. Line. Well known are those 18 kings that annihilated their kinsmen, friends, and relatives. Even as when Dharma became extinct, Kali was born in the race among the race of Asuras, flourishing with prosperity and blazing with energy. So was born Udavarta among the Hayas, Janamejaya among the Nepas, Bahula among the Talanjaganas, and proud Vasu among the Krimis, Ajavindu among the Suvirs, Rushadik amongst the Shurastras, Arkaja among the Valihas, Dotamulaka among the Chinnas, Hayagriva among the Vedehas, Varayu among the Mahujoshas, Vahu among the Sundaras, Puravas among the Diptakashas, Sahaja among the Chedis and Matsyas, Brishadjada among the Praviras, Dharana among the Chandrabatsyas, Bigahana among the Mukuts, and Sama among the Nadi Vegas. These vile individuals, O Krishna, spring up at the end of each yuga. In their respective races for the destruction of their kinsmen. So have Duryodhana, the very embodiment of sin and the disgrace of his race, been born at the end of the yuga, amongst us the Kurus. Therefore, O thou of fierce prowess, thou shouldst address him slowly and mildly, not in bitter but sweet words fraught with virtue and profit, and discourse fully on the subject, so as to attract his heart. All of us, O Krishna, would rather in humiliation follow Duryodhana submissively, but, O let not the Bharats be annihilated. O Vasudev, act in such a way that we may rather live as strangers to the Kurus than incurring the sin of bringing about the destruction of the whole race should touch them. O Krishna, let the aged grandsire and the other councillors of the Kurus be asked to bring about brotherly feelings between brothers and to pacify the son of Dhritarashtra. Even this is what I say. King Yudhisthira also approveth of this, and Arjuna too is averse to war, for there is great compassion in it. Vaishampayana said, hearing these words from Bhima, that were fraught with such mildness, and that were as unexpected as if the hills had lost their weight and fire had become cold, Rama's younger brother, Keshava, of Sura's race and mighty arms, wielding the bow called Saranga, laughed aloud, and as if to stimulate Bhima by his words, like the breezy fanning of a fire, addressed him who was then so overwhelmed by the impulse of kindness, saying, at other times, O Bhimashen, thou applaudest war only, desirous of crushing the wicked sons of Dhritarashtra, that take delight in the destruction of others. O chastiser of foes, thou dost not steep, but wakest the whole night. Thou dost not sleep, but wakest the whole night, sitting up face downwards. Thou often utterest frightful exclamation of wrath, indicative of the storm within thy heart. Inflamed with the fire of thy own fury, thou sighest, O Bhim, with an unquiet heart, like a flame of fire mixed with smoke. Withdrawing from company, thou liest down, breathing hot sighs, like a weak man pressed down by a heavy load. They who do not know the cause regard thee as insane. As an elephant breaking into fragments, uprooted trees lying on the ground, grunteth in rage while trampling them under his feet. So thou also, O Bhima, runnest on, breathing deep sighs and shaking the earth under the tread. Here in the region thou takest no delight in company, but passeth thy time in privacy. Night or day, nothing pleases thee so much as seclusion. Sitting apart, thou sometimes laughest aloud, all on a sudden, and sometimes placing thy head between thy two knees, thou continuest in that posture for a long time, with closed eyes. At other times, O Bhim, contracting thy brows, frequently and biting thy lips, thou starest fiercely before thee. All this is indicative of wrath. At one time, thou hadst in the midst of thy brothers grasped a mace, uttering this oath, as the sun is seen rising in the east, displaying his radiance, and as he truly setteth in the west, journeying around the Meru, so do I swear that I will certainly slay insolent Duryodhana with this mace of mine, and this oath of mine will never be untrue. How then doth the same heart of thine, O chastiser of foes, now follow the counsels of peace? Alas, when fear entereth thy heart, O beam, it is certain that the hearts of all those who desire war are upset when war becometh actually imminent. Asleep or awake, thou beholdest, O son of Preta, inauspicious omens. Perhaps it is this for which thou desirest peace. Alas, like a eunuch, thou dost not display any sign indicative of manliness in thee. Thou art overwhelmed by panic, and it is for this that thy heart is upset. The hearts of mortals, O Partha, are surely as inconsistent as the pods of the salmali seed, exposed to the force of the wind. This frame of thy mind is as strange as articulate speech and kind. Indeed, the hearts of thy brothers are about to sink in an ocean of despair. Like swimmers in the sea without a raft to rescue them, that thou, O Bhimshen, shouldst utter words so unexpected of thee, is as strange as the shifting of a hill. Recollecting thy own deeds, and the race also in which thou art born, arise, O Bharat, yield not to grief, O hero, and be firm. Such languor, O represser of foes, is not worthy of thee, for a Kshatriya never enjoyeth that which he doth not acquire through prowess. Shall I give it a rest, sis? Would else like to?
All right.
It's up to 9 o'clock. Very.
It's so good, isn't it? I'm going to read from that one now. The same one, yeah? Or do you want to read another one?
I haven't
Go on.
read yet.
You
Yeah,
have?
I'll do a bit more.
That's
It's just a
what
short
Cora
one.
read.
Oh
Did
God,
you
I
read
did. I
it?
forgot I just read. Shit, man. God, I've got my memory. I did it. Oh God, what's going on?
Read
I'm
one
going
more then,
mad.
please,
Okay,
and
carry
then
on.
I'll read.
No.
Okay. Vaishampayana said, thus addressed by Vasudeva, the ever-wrathful Bhima, incapable of bearing insults, was immediately awakened like a steed of high mettle and replied, without losing a moment, saying, O Achyuta, I wish to act in a particular way. Thou, however, takest me in quite a different light. That I take great delight in war, and that my prowess is incapable of being baffled, must, O Krishna, be well known to thee in consequence of our having lived together for a long time. Or it may be, thou knowest me not, like one swimming in a lake ignorant of its depth. It is for this that thou art chidest me in such unbecoming words. Who else, O Madhava, knowing me to be Bhimashen, could address me with such unbecoming words as thou dost? Therefore I shall tell thee, O delighter of the Vrishnis, about my own prowess and unrivalled might. Although to speak of one's own prowess is always a ignoble act, yet, pierced as I am by thy unfriendly strictures, I will speak of my own might. Behold, O Krishna, these, the firmament and the earth, which are immovable, immense and infinite, and which are the refuge of, and in which are born these countless creatures. If through anger these suddenly collide like two hills, just I with my arms can keep them asunder with all their mobile and immobile objects. Behold the joints of these, my mace-like arms. I find not the person who can extricate himself, having once come within their grasp. the Himavat, the ocean, the mighty wielder of the thunderbolt himself, the slayer of Vala, viz. Even these three cannot, with all their power, extricate the person attacked by me. I will easily trample on the ground under my feet all the Kshatriyas who will come to battle against the Pandavas. It is not known to thee, O Achyuta, with what prowess I vanquished the kings of the earth and brought them under subjection. If indeed thou really knowest not my prowess, which is like the fierce energy of the midday sun, thou wilt then know it. O Janardana, in the fierce melee of battle, thou woundest me with thy cruel words, paining me with the pain of opening a foid tumor. But know me to be mightier than what I have said of myself of my own accord. On that day, when the fierce and destructive havoc of battle will begin, thou wilt then see me felling elephants and car warriors combatants on steeds and on those elephants, and slaying in rage the foremost of Kshatriya warriors. Thou, as well as others, will seek me doing all this and grinding down the foremost of combatants. The marrow of my bones hath not yet decayed, nor doth my heart tremble. If the whole world rusheth against me in wrath, I do not yet feel the influence of fear. It is only for the sake of compassion, O slayer of Madhu, that I am for displaying goodwill to the foe. I am far quietly bearing all our injuries, lest the Bharat race be extirpated.
All right, section LXX 77.
Became being for a while.
Yeah,
Good,
I was just
very
about to
good.
say you really did. That was brilliant.
So now Krishna replies, the Holy One said, it was only through affection that I said all this, desiring to know thy mind, and not from the desire of reproaching thee, nor from pride of learning, nor from wrath, nor from desire of making speech. I know thy magnanimity of soul, and also thy strength and thy deeds. It is not for that reason that I reproach thee, O son of Pandu. 1,000 times greater will be the benefit conferred by thee on the Pandavas' cause than that which thou thinkest thyself to be capable of conferring on it. O thou, O Bhima, with thy kinsmen and friends, art exactly that which one should be that has taken his birth in a family like thine that is regarded by all the kings of the earth. The fact, however, is that they can never arrive at the truth, who, under the influence of doubt, proceed to inquire about the consequences hereafter of virtue and vice, or about the strength and weakness of men. For it is seen that what is the cause of the success of a person's object becometh also the cause of his ruin. Human acts, therefore, are doubtful in their consequences. Learned men capable of judging of the evils of actions pronounce a particular course of action as worthy of being followed. It produces, however, consequences the very opposite of what were foreseen, very much like the course of the wind. Indeed, even those acts of men that are the results of deliberation and well-directed policy, and that are consistent with considerations of propriety, are baffled by the dispensations of providence. Then, again, providential dispensations, such as heat and cold and rain and hunger and thirst, that are not the consequences of human acts, may be baffled by human exertion. Then again, besides those acts which a person is preordained as the result of the act of past lives to go through, one can always get rid of all other acts begun at his pleasure, as testified by both the Smritis and the Shrutis. Therefore, O son of Pandu, One cannot go on the world without acting. One should hence engage in work, knowing that one's purpose would be achieved by a combination of both destiny and exertion. He that engages in acts under this belief is never pained by failure, nor delighted by success. This, O Bhimasena, was the intended import of my speech. It was not intended by me that victory would be certain in the encounter with the foe. A person, when his mind is upset, should not lose his cheerfulness and must yield neither to languor nor depression. It is for this that I spoke to thee in the way I did. When the morrow comes, I will go, O Pandava, to Dhritarashtra's presence. I will strive to make peace without sacrificing your interests. If the Kauravas make peace, then boundless fame will be mine. Your purposes will be achieved, and they also will reap great benefit. If, however, the Kauravas, without listening to my words, resolve to maintain their opinion, then there will undoubtedly be a formidable war. In this war, burden resteth on thee, O Bhimasena. That burden should also be borne by Arjuna, while other warriors should all be led by both of you. In case of war happening, I will certainly be the driver of Vivatsu's car, for that indeed is Dhananjaya's wish, and not that I myself am not desirous of fighting. It is for this that, hearing thee utter thy intention, I rekindled that thy energy, O Vrikodara. Section LXX 878. Arjuna said, O Janardana, Yudhishthira hath already said what should be said. But, O chastiser of foes, hearing what thou hast said, it seemeth to me that thou, O Lord, dost not think peace to be easily obtainable, either in consequence of Dhritarashtra's covetousness or from our present weakness. Thou thinkest also that human prowess alone is fruitless, and also that without putting forth one's prowess, one's purposes cannot be achieved. What thou hast said may be true, but at the same time it may not always be true. Nothing, however, should be regarded as impracticable. It is true, peace seemeth to thee to be impossible in consequence of our distressful condition, yet they are still acting against us without reaping the fruits of their acts. Peace, therefore, if properly proposed, O Lord, O Lord, may be concluded. O Krishna, strive thou, therefore, to bring about peace with the foe. Thou, O hero, art foremost of all friends of both the Pandavas and the Kurus, even as Prajapati is of both the gods and the Asuras. Accomplish thou, therefore, that which is for the good of both the Kurus and the Pandavas. The accomplishment of our good is not, I believe, difficult for thee. If thou strivest, O Janardana, such is the act that it will be soon effected. As soon as thou goest thither, it will be accomplished. If, O hero, thou purposest to treat the evil-minded Duryodhana in any other way, that purpose of thine will be carried out exactly as thou wishest. Whether it be peace or war with the foe that thou wishest, any wish, O Krishna, that thou mayest entertain will certainly be honored by us. Does not the evil-minded Duryodhana with his sons and kinsmen deserve destruction when, unable to bear the sight of Yudhishthira's prosperity and finding no other faultless expedient, that wretch, O slayer of Madhu, deprived of us our kingdom by the sinful expedient of deceitful dice? What bowman is there who, born in the Kshatriya order and invited to combat, turneth away from the fight even if he be sure to die? Beholding ourselves vanquished, by sinful means and banished to the woods. Even then, thou of the Vrishni race, I thought that Suryodhana deserved death at my hands. What thou, however, O Krishna, wishest to do for thy friends is scarcely strange, although it seems inexplicable how the object in view is capable of being effected by either mildness or its reverse. Or if thou deemest their immediate destruction to be preferable, let it be effected soon without further deliberation. Surely thou knowest how Draupadi was insulted in the midst of the assembly by Duryodhana of sinful soul, and how also we bore it with patience. That Duryodhana, O Madhava, will behave with justice towards the Pandavas is what I cannot believe. Wise counsels will be lost on him like seed sown in a barren soil. Therefore, do without delay what thou, O thou of the Vrishni race, thinkest to be proper and beneficial for the Pandavas, or what indeed should next be done. I'll read one more and then it's finished. It's not too long. Section 79. The Holy One said, "It shall be, O thou of mighty arms, what thou, O Pandavas, sayest. I will strive to bring about that which would be beneficial to both the Pandavas and the Kurus. Between the two kinds of acts, war and peace, the latter, O Vibatsu, is perhaps within my power. Behold, the soil is moistened and divested of weeds by human exertion. Without rain, however, O son of Kunti, is never yieldeth crops. Indeed, in the absence of rain, some speak of artificial irrigation as a means of success due to human exertion, but even then it may be seen that the water artificially let in is dried up in consequence of providential drought. Beholding all this, the wise men of old have said that human affairs are set a-going in consequence of the cooperation of both providential and human expedients. I will do all that I can to be done by human exertion at its best, but I shall by no means be able to control what is providential. The wicked soul Duryodhana acteth, defying both virtue and the world, nor doth he feel any regret in consequence of his acting in that way. Moreover, his sinful inclinations are fed by his counselors Sakuni and Karna, and his brother Dushasana. Suryodhana will never make peace by giving up the kingdom without, O Partha, undergoing at our hands a wholesale destruction with his kinsmen. King Yudhisthira the just doth not wish to give up the kingdom submissively. The wicked-minded Duryodhana also will not, at our solicitation, surrender the kingdom. I therefore think that it is scarcely proper to deliver Yudhisthira's message to him. The sinful Duryodhana of the Kuru's race will not, O Bharata, accomplish the objects spoken of by Yudhisthira. If he refuses compliance, he will deserve death at the hands of all. Indeed, he deserves death at my hands, as also, O Bharata, of every one, since in your childhood he always persecuted you all, and since that wicked and sinful wretch robbed you of your kingdom and could not bear the sight of Yudhisthira's prosperity. Many a time, O Partha, he strove to withdraw me from thee, but I never reckoned those wicked attempts of his. Thou knowest, O thou of mighty arms, what the cherished intentions of Duryodhana are, and thou knowest also that I seek the welfare of the King Yudhisthira the just. Knowing, therefore, Duryodhana's heart and what my most cherished wishes are, why then dost thou, O Arjuna, entertain such apprehensions in respect of myself, like one unacquainted with everything? That grave act also which was ordained in heaven is known to thee. How then, O Partha, can peace be concluded with the foe? What, however, O Pandavas, is capable of being done by either speech or act will all be done by me. Do not, however, O Partha, expect peace to be possible with the foe. About a year ago, on the occasion of attacking Virata's kind, did not Bhishma, on their way back, solicit Duryodhana about this very peace so beneficial to all? Believe me, they have been defeated even then when their defeat was resolved by thee. Indeed, Suryodhana doth not consent to part with the smallest portion of the kingdom for even the shortest period of time. As regards myself, I am ever obedient to the commands of Yudhisthira, and therefore the sinful acts of that wicked wretch must have again to be resolved in my mind. And that's it for this week, this episode. Tune in next week for the Krishna's embassy to the Kurus.
Okay, I'm going to turn it off then, the
Wonderful.
recording.
Mm-hmm.